GenAI for DevOps engineers, 30 days, real labs, real workflows. Launch price, $39, limited seats. This program is built to fix exactly that. Not theory, not buzzwords, not build chat. We focus on practical GenAI skills that directly map to real DevOps workflows. This is not a video-only course. You'll get guided, hands-on labs, real environments, time-bound, controlled access, exercises that mirror real DevOps plus GenAI usage. 30 Days of AI Agents is a hands-on program designed to help learners understand, build, and evaluate modern AI agents using popular open-source frameworks. Over 4 weeks, participants will build AI agents using tools such as N8N, Crew AI, Llama Index, LangGraph, and Small Agents. Duration 30 days. Format live instructor-led sessions. Hands-on, yes, guided labs and exercises.
This is again a really important question, and I know like most of us, we run like whoever who start his Linux journey, we have executed a bunch of command on our Linux system, or to be precise, on our bash shell. But how many of us thinks like what happened behind the scene when we run this cat etc password command, or not cat etc password command, even if we executed the ls command, what exactly happened behind the scene, or any command which you are running? So again, I will pause here for a second and I will give you guys few seconds to think about it. What do you think happened behind the scene when you are executing any command in Linux? So I will start with, let's say I'm in the bash interpreter. What do you think, if you look at this command, what do you think what is happening behind the scene? So if I'm seeing this cat etc password command, or what exactly I'm seeing?
That
You
file
guys are
content.
thinking in the right direction, but you are thinking way ahead.
Yeah, check either this is directory or folder, permissions folder, directory folder. Is this you want to?
No. Okay. So let me start here. Here I am seeing two things. One is the cat command, and second one is the argument which is passed to a command. I am not thinking about where I am going, where exactly I am trying to do a system call. I'm seeing two things here. One is the command, and one is the argument which is passed to a command. Okay. Now I figure it out. Okay, I have two things here. What will be the first step? Now we can start with all these things which you guys are talking about. So what should be the first step? Okay, let's start with the cat command. If I need to read this cat command to read this particular etc password file, or it can be any file, etc host, etc shadow, what is the first thing it need to do? So basically in your path variable, it is going to see where exactly this cat command is, right? And that is how the utility like which will help you to locate the path, because this user bin is the path, is the location where it will start searching for this particular binary. So that is how, if you create a new program and if it's not there in the path, you need to define that particular path. I mean, most of you have done this command, right? Export, and then let's say your binary home, Lakera, fetch ABC, colon dollar path, right? To add that particular binary in the path of this particular, because these are the default location where your shell looks for the particular command. Okay. So, okay. We have seen that, okay, we have break this into two parts. One is the cat command, one is the etc password. Now we look for the cat command in that path variable. And because this is a valid command, it find out that particular command in the path variable. What will be the next step? Think of this like a simple command, like a cat command. What do you think? So the next step is, we have seen that this command is located in this location. So
Correct.
what it need to do, it need to load that file from your disk to a RAM. Okay. Basically, it do a lot of system call for that. So there is something called fork and exec. But let's not go about like how it does. So now it has load the file from disk to a RAM. So cat is now present in the memory. Okay, what next? So now we have the file in the this cat command in the memory. Now we can move to the other part, which is etc password. What do you guys think? What will be the next step? So it will check the permission if the particular user who is executing this file has the permission to load this file into a memory. Okay. And if it's not, there's exit code called -1. If that exit code comes as a -1, that means that user don't have a permission. Otherwise, if the user has a permission, it will read the file. Okay, basically it issues a read system call. It will display the content to the file. Then it will execute something called what's the name of that call? Exit system call. So this cat command issues the exit system call, and the parent process, which is the bash, it executes something called a wait system call. And the reason for the wait, because whatever the resources which has been allocated to this cat command. So this was the PPID, which is the parent process ID, and this is the PID, which is the ID which has been forked. So whatever the resource which has been allocated to this PID, to this cat etc password command, those resources need to be delocated so that the new process can get those resources, right? So whatever the resource, I mean mem, CPU, all those IO, those will be cleaned it out, right? And finally, when all these things will be done, the transfer of this whole thing will return back to the bash shell. Okay, and that is where you have seen this during this wait system called something called zombie process. That is how the zombie process got created. So your process got exit, okay, and it is waiting for the kernel to clean up all the resources. But the PID of this process never got cleaned up, and it can be n number of reasons. We can talk about it later. But this is a common misconception for every process during this when it executes this exit system call, and by the moment when kernel is cleaning up or this bash shell is cleaning up all the resources, there is a slight movement when the process becomes a zombie because it need to clean all the resources which has been allocated to a particular process. Okay, if I confused you, just forget about this zombie. So basically, it execute exit, and during the wait, it is cleaning up all the resources which is allocated to this particular process. And once that has been done, the whole of the command will return back to the shell, or the execution return back to a shell. Okay, so let me summarize it one more time. You open your bash shell, you executed the cat command, this cat to read any file, and same thing happen if you try to execute, for example, the ls command, right? So for ls, it is just going to look for the path. It will load the binary and execute it, and all those things if it has a permission and everything, right? And all the steps will be the same.